G'day guys, Cass here, and today we're going to be playing The Parking. It's a Unity horror game that I found in the itch.io store for free as usual, so no surprises. Description: you wake up in a parking after a traffic accident during the night. You want to escape from there, but there are some creatures hidden in the shadows waiting for you. How did you end up there? Will you be able to escape? Your only friends are your knife and your guns. And I'm assuming, judging by the fact that the game started in Spanish and I had to go into the options menu to change it, that the developer's first language is in English. So, let's try and be a little bit gentle. New game. Don't have any save games, so let's continue. News. The police discovered dead bodies of missing people in a parking that was abandoned years ago. The bodies of missing people were found devoured in an abandoned parking. The first days of January of 2012 were very stressful to the police in the week. 11 people. This is a massive text dump that doesn't look like it's anything important, so let's just continue. Oh, now it wants me to select my language again. Sure, why not? Interesting rain effect. Whoa. Yep, okay. This is not what I expected. Parking. It's not a parking garage, it's just parking. Presents. Parking presents, okay. What speed are we going? What? I was gonna... The parking. It's hard to do the dramatic voice when you're getting shocked by lightning apparently. Okay. We really just have a gun. Okay. Gun and knife. You have found a Colt M1911, a gun with a capacity of 8 bullets and a lot of precision. Hold right click to aim, left click to shoot, I to reload. You also have a combat knife, a melee weapon. It isn't effective, but it is fast. Okay, so why would we ever use it if it's not effective? WAS to move, shift to run, but be careful your stamina, E to interact. Now, am I crouched? So, the audio for this game is so loud. Way down. Sensitivities and just flat numbers. Okay, sure. Okay, let's go. Lizards. The lizards are terrifying mutant creatures of an unknown origin. They are always hungry, so you usually find them eating. They feed on humans and they detect you easily. Their weakness is their head, where it receives more damage. Right. So I have to reload because apparently the gun had no bullets in it. Sure, what? What? Let me show you. Oh. Wait, why is he cocking? Okay, I'm not an expert on firearms, being Australian and all that, and incredibly lazy. But what is he doing to that? Is he chambering a Colt after every shot? I just have a great track record with all FPS horror games. First aid kits. You have collected a first aid kit. When you use them, you will restore a amount of health, the green bar on the screen. Press V to use it. This will take some time, in which you will not be able to attack with one T for some reason. Okay. What about dead guy? Dead guy look good? Dead guy look great. Okay. I don't know why we'd ever want to set off a car alarm. Right. Sure. So yeah, really not what I was expecting at all. Gonna be honest. I was expecting more of a horror game. This feels more like a comedy. First person shooter comedy. Yep. Okay. Dramatic zoom. What? Sure. How do I get the gun? Why have those cars started burning? I must put out the fire to continue. There are some pipes in the wall next to the fire. Maybe if I make the water flow again through the pipes. Rightio. There's another one of these things. Okay. Shoot it in the head. Does he actually need to cock it every... No, so the animation plays, but you don't actually need to wait for him to cock it every time. Oh my gosh, the head just shrunk down. The head got deleted, so the texture folded, and he's got a pinhead. And he was bleeding pink blood. Lovely. Okay. Make water flow to the pipes again. On it. Oh, this is... There's walkie-talkie here. The guards of the sentry box usually have walkie-talkies too. Maybe I can connect the walkie-talkie to the guard one and watch the distance between him and me. What? In fact, I can now. I can watch in the walkie-talkie the distance between... Oh, nearly walkie and me. Okay. Will the guard have the key to the sentry security box or whatever? So... Basically run around like a lunatic until that number hits zero. Gotcha. Rightio. That was easy, I guess. Open. Cool. Nothing's in here. The controls feel like there's an awkward pause where if you take a step, like if you just tap W, you'll take an extra step. So it kind of feels like you're on an ice rink, but... News! Demonstrations in front of the police station. 8 years have passed since the disappearance of 11 people, and demonstrations have been done because the police never solved the case. Rightio. I have a valve. Where is the pipes in which I attach the valve to? We may never know. No. Great. Interaction with the environment, finally. Back into the... What an animation. Okay. Please tell me this is progress. Why is there pink blood everywhere? Is it progress? Oh. Sorry, I just found the valve and was rewarding myself with a nice cup of tea. After the 5-minute waiting period of me running around in the pitch black. Let's just give the developer that one, so it's not developer error that occurred. Take the shotgun, thank you. And let's just say it was because I'm an idiot. What? Shotgun. You have a double-barrel shotgun. It is a short-range gun and it takes time to reload but hurts too much. In its magazine there is space for 4 bullets and every shot uses 2. It has no bullets in the magazine, but I'm sure I will find some of them over there. Use the scroll wheel to change the gun. So it's got no ammo right now at all. These small animals are more aggressive than they seem. They run a lot and they detect you from far away. Their only way of attack is biting you. Too many of them can be mortal. Right. Words. Though they are very weak and they die with a shot or a knife attack, but it's very difficult to hit them with a knife. Watch me. Watch me, mate. Oh. Oh. He's not wrong. I've got the indicator right on top of it and it's not doing anything. But that's great. Why not? Just can't hit them with a knife. Sure, whatever. What? Oh. I was thinking I was being sneaky. I'm confused as to the difficulty of this game. Right now I feel like all the challenge from the game is coming from the weird... I should probably elaborate on what I mean by difficulty. Right now it feels like all the challenge that I'm experiencing from the game and all the gameplay elements that I'm struggling at all with all come from design flaws and not the game actually having any difficulty to it. It looks like the door requires a level 1 keycard. I should look for it over this zone and I should also look for shotgun bullets. And a side note, while having tutorials is advised at the surface level, you know, put tutorials in your stuff so people know what's going on and understand the gameplay. The game itself is a rather basic shooter. That's not an insult, the game is just a basic shooter. So, what he's actually loading for... That... What? Maybe. Okay. Guns, am I right? So, while tutorials on a surface level are always advised in your game, you know, so people can actually tell what's going on, you don't need gameplay breaking huge black bars coming up with long descriptions about what a key card is. It doesn't really add anything to the game, and anybody with a cursory knowledge of gameplay elements and styles is going to understand the purpose of a key card and key. Same thing with a shotgun. Unless your shotgun functions vastly different from all other shotguns. See, the problem is I've got no pistol ammo, do I? So I'm going to open this and get absolutely destroyed by these things. But, so unless your weapons function vastly different from other weapons in the game, in shooter games, there's no reason to really have a tutorial explaining it all. Which the game didn't explain that you'd have to aim the pistol and shotgun before you could use it, because default... What is he? Okay, because default left clicking makes your knife, which is just useless. Yeah, sure. But I mean, the game doesn't look too horrific, he says, as the giant grey blob of nothingness comes on screen. Folcro. The Folcro is a mutant rat beast. He has the ability to invoke and control rats. Oh great. He lives in caves and he usually jumps over the ground to make the stalactites fall down over his enemy. The Folcro is completely bulletproof, but his weakness is an orange ball in his stomach. The only way to make him get it out from his stomach is knocking him. Knocking him what? Okay, ammo. I'm proud that you enjoy it. So, knocking him. So is it going to immediately fall on him? Like, do I shoot it, or does it fall when he does his next hit? So I kill the rat that he summons, which somehow now my knife attacks are always hitting. Then he slams to make the thing fall, and it should fall on him. Right? That's the joke here. Nope, you have to shoot it. My gosh. This is something else. So, silly question. What happens when I run out of ammo? Or is ammo just spawning around me now? This is a... I really did not expect it to take this turn. And it's just an orange ball. It's not like a lava sack or like a growth, it's just an orange ball, and it's described as an orange ball. Gotta love some developer honesty. So what part of this is actually a boss battle? Right. Bugger all my commentary, I just realised what the game is missing. We don't have any ambient music. What is that thing? That's the thing that was in the thumbnail for the game on the itch.io store, so I'm really interested as to what it actually does. This is a laboratory? Why this laboratory is connected to the parking? I arrived to a weird cave which had some lights in the ladder that I used to come here. That means that the connection between the parking and the laboratory wasn't accidental, it was in construction. Yeah, I don't think they can accidentally create a laboratory, but sure. Well, I've managed to get out of the parking, but now I have to get out from here, and I think it isn't going to be easy. Thank you, Indie Horror Games protagonist. Okay, give me that. Let's go. Oh, it's a switch. Cool. Just open that door. Okay, that switch has no point in existing then, because the door should just be open. It seems I need a battery to open this door. Will it be the exit? I should look for the battery in the other rooms. Maybe we'll find a charged battery in good conditions. Cool. Just find a battery. Can do, friend. Let's go. Okay, it was right there. Why didn't it flinch? Oh, it flinches after every shot. That makes this easy. Well, I say that. It seems to absorb bullets just fine. So what's the description of that thing? Roacher. The Roacher is a creature as strange as the lizards, but the difference is that they support more the bullet damage. They support more the bullet's damage, although their weakness still being their head. Like, just reading this is making my tongue have a stroke. They usually wait in the silent darkness until they hear their prey get closer. They are slow but dangerous. Okay. Roacher. It turns out if we splice... That looks more like a cricket than a cockroach, but if we splice a cockroach and whatever, get a roacher. Is this a puzzle? Because it looks like... What? It says press E or Q. E. So Q, exit. Okay, I was about to say, because it looks like a DJ table. A disc jockey tray. Okay, and then... What? So, cycle between these and hitting E. I'm definitely just guessing this combination, hey? There's no way I'm actually gonna... Yep, sure, I did it, solved it. I'm so smart, guys. I worked out the puzzle. Check out this easy walkthrough. How many layers does the chest need? Level 2 research in a... Yep, rotate. Level 2 researcher. Okay. The text looked a little bit messy from the bloom, so I couldn't really tell what was going on. Well, that's great and all. Glad we got a keycard, but we didn't need a keycard. We needed a battery. So the journey will continue. Rats. It's a very empty game now. This is... So, just to explain, I feel like I have to explain myself in Justified Actions now. The reason why we're playing this over playing Welcome to the Game 3, I affectionately call it, Scrutinized, is because I thought I could do with a temporary break, a one-day break, as you will, from tryharding in a more puzzle action kind of game. But because I chose to not continue that, we now have to do this. Annotations of the Dr. Elizabeth. The purpose of the experiments is to be able to add animals' DNA to humans to improve their abilities. We are trying to add animals' DNA to other animals. If we get good results, we will try on humans. But the boss, Dallas Connor, is impatient to mutate humans. This will kill the person we use as test subject because we haven't investigated enough. But the boss says he will implant himself hundreds of animals' DNA to prove that it is not dangerous. I think he will do it, but this experiments are illegal, so we can't go to the police if the boss does that. Well, we know what the final boss of the game's going to be, boys. Pack her up. And judging by the fact... Oh wait, notes. I missed these notes before. Dr. Albert, we're still experimenting with animals' DNA iron, the laboratory, but the director and the boss of the project, Dallas Connor, says that the tests with animals are necessary. We can try to mutate humans. The workers have opposed that, explaining animal testing has ended in mutations, or as the lizard or the roacher. The boss is very angry about that. So all the lizard people and cockroach people is from this laboratory. What? Did mutating yourself with all that creature DNA give you a flamethrower arm? What is this music? So I guess he heard my cries for attention and how I desperately wanted a soundtrack. But holy... I really hope this is copyright free. You know, the fact that they flinch after every shot makes killing these guys much easier than I thought it would be. How are they more powerful? Like, how is a lizard more powerful than a cockroach? Less powerful than a cockroach? I'm trying to do the math here. Ooh, a screwdriver. I'm sure that'll come in handy. Okay, so he just locked me in. Good for him. There's no screws on that vent. Okay, whatever. Cooling through the vent. I feel very horror gamed right now. Why is there a note in the vent? The boss is crazy. He has implanted himself hundreds of different animals' DNA. He has become a monster that is killing everyone in the laboratory. He got a flamethrower and he's burning the lab. If someone read this, stop that monster until it escapes from here. Right. Only here's the K card to exit from here. I've called the monster the Grunt. But he's the boss. Why would you call him a grunt? What? Is this comedy? Oh, it's a dead end. Well, I'm glad. Super glad that this end exists. Please. I don't want to crawl through vents anymore. My cries were answered. Oh, we're saving. Boss battle, here we go. Come on. Whoa. Okay, it spawned me and then threw me forwards. What the fuck was that thing? Great. It was 2 times bigger than me and it had a saber in a hand and a damn flamethrower in the other. I think he was the one who burned the cars in the parking. If I don't stop him, he will burn the laboratory before I can escape. A saber. Why is there just a book down here? What does the book actually say? Dear Dallas, I become... Nope, this is gonna... It's actually what's gonna be in there. Dear Dallas Connor's diary. Thanks for naming it. Really appreciate that. Be the head of the project. It's so difficult. We've been experimenting... Oh wait, no, this is the villain. One sec. Let me go into character. Dear Dallas Connor's diary, be the head of the project. It's so difficult. We've been experimenting, mixing animals' DNA. My team says that the results are not good because we have created mutations like the lizard or the roacher. But I see that mutants as the humans of the future. They can't understand that. I've been crashing my car with some people while they were driving. So, oh yeah, so he's been road raging for test subjects, I bet. Then I take those people to an abandoned parking as food to my creations. Great. So I like to call this his random plot device to tie together 2 Unity asset maps that I'm flipping and haven't actually created. I said them to start proving the experiment with humans they don't want because they think is dangerous. So just so you're aware, I didn't actually read the second half of that sentence. I just said what I thought would be there and then looked. So my brain has actually adapted to what's going on here, and that is a scary thought. I will show thee that is not dangerous. I'm going to inject myself a lot of animals' DNA. When I become a superhuman, I will destroy them. I will take the merit of the investigation. Small disclosure, don't actually know if this Unity map and the parking lot map are asset flips and haven't been changed at all. I'm just guessing, but I feel like I've guessed correctly. But I'd love to be proven wrong. Okay, I don't know how the rats were mutants, but sure. What is this How am I meant to describe this experience to other people? Oxygen. Oxygen. Okay, thank you. I'll try and acquire more oxygen. So there was just an aquarium at the end that had... Great, what am I missing? Do I need to inspect burned body somehow? Nope. Sure. Is there a note? Steps to open D door in case of flood. Turn the valve located near to one of the experiments water contains to stabilize the water pressure, and then pull the lever. I.e., I'm deaded. Nice sound effects. I could hear the mic crackle in the background as well. That's very professional. Game over. Cool. Yep. Take me back to the Paradise City. Okay. Safety valve near one of the experiments. What would a safety valve even look like? Oh, that would be it. Cool. I don't know how that stabilizes the water pressure, but it does. And we're out. Gee, I wonder what the boss arena is going to be. What is that model? Okay. It hasn't given me a tooltip as to what I'm actually meant to do here, so I get the feeling I'm missing something. Oh, it's got a health bar above it, so cover him in oil. Oh no, that's water. Put out fires that he starts, or... Oh! His health bar's not that great. Oh, that's why. Okay. So, I'm assuming we get him on top of the circle. We kill him on top of that thing, so he burns to death. So what animals do you think he's had combined within himself? That he's got a flamethrower on one hand and a saber on the other. How many times do we have to do that? 3? Okay, interesting laboratory design. So we need to do is hit him hard enough. Almost knock him down. Then run him all the way over. I haven't reloaded. Okay, let's just go for another loop then. Wow, okay, I'll be honest, I thought it had better range than that. Bullet, thank you. It didn't say what this trap was. Nothing, apparently. That's good. I mean, I guess it's this wall, but maybe that's just a water dispenser. I don't know. This is not an experience I thought I would be having today. It is just a small, tiny spike out of that wall. We really went down the scale in Doomsday Traps, didn't we? I guess now we have to be super precise. That is as precise as we are ever going to get. Oh no. Please. Never mind. I thought so. Yep. Please don't make me do all that again. It's gonna make me do all that over again. So, here's the problem. I've got him on almost no HP. I'm prepared to trap him in front of the spike and kill him. But I've come into the newfound world of he really likes his flamethrower, which is fine, poses no threat. I can avoid it easily, and there's a nice little lever over here that makes it useless. But there's nothing to compensate the fact that he will spam it and not let your gut close him into the spike, unlike now, which he just decided to do while I was talking because he's a dick. Sure. Please tell me he's dead and we don't have to do that again. Right. Keycard. Let's see these end credits, boys. And gamers. And all the other people out there. Just some dude. Oh, great. Great. I mean, if he got up after all that, I don't think that Uzi was going to do anything to him. Oh, here's the exit. What? The parking. With soft piano. Directed by Javier. Yep. Can we... I know you're trying to go for the heavy-handed approach of the credit, and that we all came together, made a really cool game and all that, but you still released it for scrutiny to the public, so... Cool. So, thoughts. Scary part. First and foremost, the controls are fairly bad. The game actually feels generally awful to play. It, like, just from the get-go, the first thought that I had the moment I felt how the game actually moved and operated was, I really don't want to play this. Having the knife bound to left click instead of having left click blind fire the gun, hip fire the gun I should say, is just terrible. You just feel like you're constantly having to put in an extra input to just fire, so it slows down the pace of the game. There's barely any story to speak of. At least there's barely any interesting story to speak of. So really the only thing you're playing the game for is to see how poorly it performs in the later levels, which is not a good thing. Obviously the names of the enemies are terrible, but that's not really the important thing, and that's not something that if you change is going to actually improve what's going on. The guns don't function at all realistically. I'm not a stickler for that kind of stuff. I don't really think guns need to operate realistically in video games for the game to be enjoyed at all. But I can guarantee you, I'm not going to look it up, but I can guarantee a Colt does not function like that. And a shotgun is not loaded with 2 pellets and 2 shells in each barrel at any point. But I could be wrong. Feel free to tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Hi. It's easier to say what was correct in the game than it is to say what is wrong, because what is wrong was basically everything. Stuff that I actually liked about the game. And this is not to be mean, but it seems the developer understood at what point the game's novelty of it being bad and lacking in areas, the novelty kind of wore off at some point, so the levels were mercifully short. It didn't feel like a slog to play the entire thing, it just didn't feel fun. There's a difference. So it's not the worst thing it could have been in that regard, but it's not really a compliment, it's just me trying to be more productive than just ragging on a game endlessly. Really, this feels like somebody saw an idea or brainstormed an idea that they really wanted to have with this cool mutants, because mutant character designs are great, but none of the mutants have any powers that are specific to their mutation. The cockroaches aren't hardier than the lizards by any large amount, so they aren't really like cockroaches that can survive anything, they're just the same thing. The lizards don't like run super fast or jump at you or anything, they just sometimes quickly shift between a crawling animation as they're about to attack you and otherwise. And the rats are just a small enemy, because games need to have a small enemy if they're an FPS game, right guys? The boss battles, the first boss battle was fine. it was tolerable. It felt extremely weak. Felt like it didn't need to be there, but it wasn't like executed poorly. I mean, it functioned from A to B, but there's no threat. The one rat running at you, and then the stalactites falling miles away from you, no threat. Now, the final boss is where the game really took a turn. Do not have a final boss with 3 stages that relies on you bullying it into certain positions to be able to execute very precise timed events when the boss has 2 different ranged abilities. One of which is if he used his melee attack, it would hit you. It didn't matter if you sprinted directly away from him during it, it would still hit you. When he used his flamethrower, you'd basically never get hit unless you were standing still. So the only time he'd ever use his flamethrower was if you were standing still. And the only time you would ever be standing still is when you're trying to bait him into the dangerous zone so you can actually activate the levers. So the boss just works against its own design and makes you really start hating the AI. And an overarching bag to put this thing in, please fix the spelling mistakes, or just include less text. It may seem silly that, why would I include less text? How are they going to understand? Almost all the tutorial pop-ups didn't say anything. They just copy and pasted what any normal player would automatically know. Oh, a keycard goes to a door. That's fine, I understand that. The game would tell you about the door needing a keycard, and when you picked up the keycard, what a keycard was. That's completely useless information. People don't need that. No one needs that in games. Especially when you tell that if it came as a small pop-up at the bottom of the screen, sure. But instead, it pauses the game, loads the UI, makes you read the UI, and then closes. And it does that for almost every single object, enemy, anything in the game. So the action, I use very liberally here, the action was constantly broken up by black boxes of text that said really nothing. So the parking, more like a good way to lose your license. I really didn't want to think up a pun. There was parallel parking, but it didn't work. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly experienced something. I feel like I've grown as a person experiencing the parking. I've grown as something, maybe not as a person. I feel like I've been a bit mean. I don't know many positives to say about it because it's a very, very bare bones and bad FPS horror game, which I've played apparently not enough of because I keep subjecting myself to them. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. See yous.